Okay guys, we're going to start step number 1 on this homemade ground mustard. What you're going to need is some brown mustard seeds. And I got these off Amazon. And I'll leave the link below. They're just, well, these are organic. And this is the organic yellow mustard seed. And I use these mustard seeds to do my pickling, like when I'm fermenting, just different things. So they'll last me a while, especially, that was 3 pounds of brown mustard seed. So all you're going to need is a quart jar. And I'm going to have to get something different to get these brown mustard seeds out, or they're going to be all over the top of my bar. Got to be careful. So you need a half a cup of your brown mustard seed. And a half a cup of your yellow mustard seed. So this process is that we're going to put all the ingredients in this quart jar, and then we're going to put a lid on it, and it's going to set overnight. And that's step 1. So I got 2/3 cup of water. And I'm going to need a cup and a half of apple cider vinegar. Now I've got homemade apple cider vinegar, but for stuff like this I like to use the store-bought organic, because I like to save my homemade for cooking when I make my vinaigrettes and stuff like that. So a cup and a half. And then you need 2 teaspoons of salt. And I'm using my pink Himalayan salt. That's all I use anymore. And I'm going to stir this up good. And of course we'll put a lid on it. But you just want to stir it up good. What we'll do, we'll let it sit here all night. And what it's going to do, it's going to soak up that liquid and the mustard seeds. They should double in size, if not 3 times, quadruple in size. It should soak up most of the liquid. So that's what you want. So we'll put a lid on it, let it set overnight, and then tomorrow we'll make our ground mustard. I think you're really going to find how easy this recipe is. Hey guys, I'm so glad y'all been so patient with me. Everything's just been so busy around here with work, and especially the garden and canning and stuff. And y'all know how that is, because I know a lot of you ladies out there are going through the same thing. It's just really busy right now. But I had mentioned in my last video about homemade ground mustard. It's simple to make. And we like a good ground mustard. I'm not real big on the French's just everyday yellow mustard. And I use mustard in a lot of stuff that I use it in, like my vinaigrettes. I always put at least, about a tablespoon or so of a good ground mustard in there. Of course, I use it in my potato salads, any kind of a pasta salad. I use it on we make a good hoagie sandwich with my brats, with my Polish sausage, just anything you think of. Because I'd rather have a good ground mustard than I would just regular everyday mustard when I'm pretty much making anything except, well, I mean, it's good with deviled eggs too, but everybody's used to just plain mustard with that. But it would be good with deviled eggs. But it's been a simple process. And now that they have soaked overnight, they have doubled a little bit. I mean, they have swelled up, and you can see that there's just about an inch left at the top. So it has made a difference letting it soak overnight. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to open the jar up. You can hear my jars over here. They're rattling. By the time I turn that off, so you don't have to listen to that. But all you're going to do is you're going to take your soaked mustard seeds, and we're going to pour them in. You can pour them in a regular blender. I've got this old processor I'm going to use, and I'm really proud of this thing. I got this at a Goodwill store down in Texas for $10, and it's a doozy, I can tell you. So what you're going to do, you're just going to take all of it, and you're going to pour it in your blender. I'm going to have to get something to get that all out of there. Now I'll leave down below where I got my brown mustard seeds and my yellow mustard seeds. They come from Amazon's where I got them. I don't know that I can leave a link anymore because, well, I'm just going to tell y'all the truth. They shut my affiliate link off because I was not putting links on every one of my videos and trying to help them sell stuff. So even though I did sell, when I left a link, it seemed like I always sold something. It didn't matter. They said I wasn't putting enough links out there, so that's fine with me. I mean, you know, I tried. So anyways, I will put the brand name and everything down in the description box, and it is from Amazon. But anyways, we'll put this in our blender, and we're going to blend it up. Now, I have been so ready for a ripe tomato, and we usually try to get some off by the 4th of July, but it don't look like we're going to have. We have a bunch of tomatoes. I just don't know if we're going to have any ripe. I've got some here that come off of a heirloom tomato plant, and I can't even remember the name of it, but they didn't do very good. Heirlooms don't do good up here in the hills of Arkansas. Hybrids do better. I have grown heirlooms, they just don't do as well. So they may do better at other places. So let's turn this on, if I can remember how. And it says to mix it till it thickens. So I'm going to go ahead and put my other blade on here because I have a double blade. Ooh, that smells strong. I just want to stop every once in a while, and I just want to look at it and see where we're at. It's getting there slowly. Let's see how many minutes it takes. It's starting to look like ground mustard. It just takes a little while. So I'm going to say, just guessing that we've been doing this, I don't know, a minute. Now when I get this where I think I want it, I'll bring y'all in closer to look at it. I'm just going to test it a little bit. It is getting thicker, but it's still not there yet. Now we will be putting this in a pot and heating it up. And that will, if y'all hear banging, it's my husband underneath the house. We just bought a real nice, big, and I'm so excited, wood cook stove. It's a Princess made. It is an older one. It's a 1999. It's a really good shape. Now we got to rebuild the fire brick inside. and just a few other odds and ends. But it's even got the biscuit shelf and all that stuff, so I'm really excited. But we're having to put a little bit more bracing underneath the floor because I think it weighs about 700 pounds with the water in the reservoir, so we're having to do a little bit of work. But let me turn this back on and see where we get. It's getting thicker. Okay, we're still gonna process this just a little bit more, but you can see how it's starting to thicken up. But you will still see some of the mustard seeds, and I don't mind that because it's ground mustard, so a little bit of seed in there is fine with me. So let's turn this back on. Let me see where we're at now. And it's getting thicker, but like I said, we're going to be heating it up, and that's going to thicken it up too. So I think I'm going to process this one more time, and I'm going to time it so y'all know about how long it takes to get your mustard to the consistency that you need. So be patient with me, and we're going to turn this back on. We'll be right back. Okay, I want to show y'all the consistency that I've got now. Sorry about that. And it was about between 2 and 3 minutes. It was pretty watery with the water and the vinegar in it, but you can see the consistency. It's a little bit thicker. Now, like I said, we're going to put it in a pot and we're going to warm it up. You don't have to cook it down or nothing like that. You just want to warm your mustard up, and what that will do is it'll help thicken it up too. And you will always have some little mustard seeds in there. Now, if you process this thing to death, you might get rid of most of them, but I don't mind a little mustard seed. But that's what I got right now. And I could probably go just a little bit longer and get a little bit thicker. I think I will. So let's just try it and see. I think that's about where it's going to be. Okay, we're going to get this out. We're going to get the mustard in my pot, and we're going to start heating it up. We're just going to pour this mustard into the saucepan. We're just going to warm it up. Now make sure you turn it on low and keep it stirred, because you can scorch this mustard real quick. You know, my youngest son, he likes to smoke pork shoulders and stuff in his smoker, and he'll take a good mustard and he'll rub that pork down with that mustard, and it just does something to the taste of that pork, and it's just really good. So I like to have a good mustard. I don't know, it just makes a difference in the taste of things. I got my mustard heated up, and it's good and thick. Now you can double this recipe too. What I'm going to do is I'm putting mine in 4-ounce jelly jars, because I just think that's a good size for me and Danny. And plus, I like to give stuff like that out to people to try. So It's just a good size, I think. Now, once we get these jarred up and in the water bath, and get them done, get them on the shelf, you're going to have to just walk away from it for a while, because really and truly, homemade mustard needs to sit, at least 4 weeks, because it kind of tames the heat and the tartness down to the mustard seed. Now, if you like the intense heat of mustard seed, I mean, I taste it while I go and it tastes really good, but it's so intense right now that it's almost like putting a little bit of horseradish on your tongue. You know, that little bite? So you might check it after 2 weeks. You might like it at that point. But I think I'm going to let mine go 3 or 4 weeks, because that's about the way I like it to be a little bit more milder. But it does taste really good. So let's get some of my jars out. I got them over here in I don't have my big water bath out for just a few little 4-ounce jars. The jars are hot. My mustard's hot. My lids are hot. I got some vinegar right here to wash my rims. I got me a little wooden ladle here. So all we got to do is ladle this beautiful brown mustard into your, now you want to leave a 1/2 inch head space. Put just a little bit more, because when you're after canning, it will expand a little bit. So the way I'm going to debubble this is I'm just going to hit it like this. My jars are hot, so be careful. I'll hit it like this and debubble it. Now, if you like something that's just really, really hot, like I said, after 2 weeks, you might like it. But you can, if you just like it intensely hot, your mustards and stuff, you could add some horseradish to it. Oh, that'd be so hot. You could add you some honey, make you some really nice honey mustard. Now, if it bothers you to have that much seed in your mustard, you probably could grind it just a little bit more, but you're not going to get rid of all that seed. I mean, that's what it is. It's like a gourmet ground mustard. So just tap it like this, very gently, break your jar. I'm just going to do these 3 right now. Get me some vinegar, wipe my rims, put my lids on. Now, I think I told y'all that the process, when I was processing, I think I processed about between 2 and 3 minutes, I think, to get that consistency. You don't want it real runny. So just put them on finger tight. Put them in your water bath. And I'm going to finish these up. And we'll get them to boiling and rocking and rolling and get them done. It only takes about 10 minutes. I wanted to tell y'all, I went back and dug my recipe out, and it does say that you can, when you put this in the blender, you can blend this mustard seed up to 10 minutes, and I've done mine 3, so that's just up to you. Okay guys, the water's starting to boil pretty good, and I'm going to put the lid on it, and we're going to let this process for about 10 minutes. We'll be back. Thank you to all my subscribers, and God bless everybody, and have a beautiful week.